E3 I've seen in the past, like, I've seen witness about maybe 3 or 4 years of E3 events, or at least that I've seen, and it is insane this time around. This probably is like the biggest event in sense of how many great games, how many great things are coming out of E3 this year alone. 2017, E3 2017 is a massive event for some massive games, and I think what we're gonna start it off with talking is from Microsoft to PlayStation to Ubisoft press conferences. We're gonna talk a lot about this, but I think the biggest thing that everybody's kind of really just like big on right now is talking about is the Xbox One X, which is what we originally thought to be the Scorpio, but it's called the Xbox One X, and it is insane. And just to let guys get you to know, I said this before in a couple videos, but my background, I used to in middle school play Xbox. I was a huge Xbox fanboy. Don't even get me started on that. My number one big ultra games I love to play, my number one franchise. Can we get a shot off? Alright. Is Halo. I started off with Halo 3, played all the way from Halo 3 to Halo 4. And just to give you some insight on, you know, I used to definitely be an Xbox fanboy back in the days. And see them coming out with the Xbox One X is a re-idealization, a reinvention, just a redo of the console, because Xbox One came out graphically, it's not impressive. It's not an impressive console, it's not an impressive device. It really isn't as far as graphic capability and fidelity. It just 1.3 teraflops, I think it is. It's not impressive, you know, and I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited for Microsoft. They made a huge, phenomenal step up. You guys don't even understand what let's go, boy. You don't even understand how much of an achievement they made. The first actual native 4K, well, I wouldn't say it's completely the first game, but it's a huge, massive step up over their first console. And it's insane that they made this transition. I would have never thought to see the day to come that they would actually come out with a 4K capable transforming beast. Oh, our ass is glued here, and it's insane, guys. Like, I would have never thought Xbox would have done it. Considering the past E3 events, they just have been not doing well as far as games exclusives. And yeah, you can argue what's that game called? Gears of War 4 that recently came out. Amazing game, you know. It was like, you know, but as far as new IPs, they haven't done anything new. They haven't done anything that's so surprising and shocking in a very long time. And it's insane that they've actually done it. What they said so far, as far as what they unveiled, as far as exclusives, Crackdown 3. We all knew that was gonna come, E3 2017. Actually, let me pull it up. I actually forgot. They have quite a couple of exclusives. They have 22 exclusives for the Xbox One X that are going to be, well, as far as the Xbox family, as far as Xbox One, there's 22 new exclusives. Some of those games, I believe 22 of them are going to be 4K ready post launch. And I'm actually going to pull up this list here. But meanwhile, I'm pulling it up. Battlefront 2 is gonna look insane. It's gonna look insane on the Xbox One X. I believe if I'm... Oh, my teammate. Anyways, if I'm right, if I'm definitely right, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was actually announced as far as multiplayer gameplay. Was actually announced from EA, but it's been played on Xbox One, and it looks freaking insane. I'm telling you guys, it's insane how beautiful the game looks, and it actually really does give some really nice clarity as far as their 4K, what they're running with, and how they're tackling it is very similar to how the PlayStation Pro is handling it. Okay, your footsteps. And it's very similar, as Xbox said. Miss all those shots, dude. Not that one though. And it's such a huge comeback for Microsoft, because the president was so freaking confident in what he was saying about his device, and that makes me confident for the device, because they very boldly was talking very high of this beast, a console. Now, one thing I'm gonna have to say, and I think we all knew was gonna just definitely happen. We knew that it was gonna be a $500 price tag. I think we all could say that for sure. We all knew that was gonna happen. Damn, that grenade. That's the only thing that's pulling me back. I think that's a lot of thing. It's a big thing that it's gonna pull a lot of gamers from really wanting to get it post-launch. It's due to the fact it's 500. 4K, get it. You know, I completely get it. Halo Wars 2, I believe, is going to be 4K 60 FPS. And it's full 4K 60 FPS. State of Decay 2 is an exclusive for the game, or for Microsoft, for Xbox One, and just the Xbox family. Let's keep looking here. Need for Speed Payback is going to be a 4K 60 FPS game. BioWare's coming out with a game called Anthem. It's not exclusive, but we seen it on, I think possibly the PC, and it's a game called Anthem. It's a Destiny kind of twist game. It's from BioWare, those developers, and they're making this game called Anthem. It's their twist on Destiny kind of feel-esque kind of exploration in the world. Insane graphics, and probably the best looking game I've seen out of E3, but besides Battlefront 2. What else? We got a couple exclusives for the Xbox X.
We have lost Objective Edward.
I'm just looking at the list here, guys. And it's quite impressive what they've done with the console. It's insane. What they did announce as well that all Xbox 360, or a lot of platforms as far as Xbox 360 original Xbox games, is going to be playable in the Xbox family. All the consoles, Xbox One, Xbox S, X, you can name it, all of it. They're doing a huge comeback as far as original games that are being played. And actually, Anthem was played on the Xbox One. Sorry about that. Exclusives, they're having Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, as well, Black Desert, The Darwin Project, Code Vein. I don't think Exodus is going to be exclusive. I don't completely remember, but it is another game that's been talked about at Microsoft press conference. a lot of
The enemy has
insane
the upper hand.
exclusives for the Xbox One X or the Xbox family. My biggest thing is that I did want to play Crankdown. That was my #1 game that I played on. As far as fun and insane chaos, that game was just the epitome of success as far as, you know, a really good Xbox game back in the OG days of Xbox 360. So they're doing backward compatibility. They came out with the Xbox talked about the Xbox One X. It showed off its impressive power and is the most powerful console up to date right now. It has not been launched, but technically right now is the most powerful console up to date right now, as it currently stands. People were amazed; they were blown to bits away how powerful and beautiful the game really looks,
We are losing objective
and or the console how it really looks. And I can't blame them. It's an insane device. Not insane device, but console. I was astounded by how beautiful the graphics look, and it makes the PlayStation Pro look like a joke. And I only say that because of the games that they showcase, and they have a lot more games as far as 4K capability, and that are big AAA games as well. Right now, PlayStation has not really or developers have not been actually working on what PlayStation gave to the developers as far as 4K ready devices. Ready games. Look at the only really big 4K games that you can play that's not even native, but really looks spectacular right now is Horizon Zero Dawn and Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can argue Battlefield 1, but it does not really compare to those titles. Horizon is probably the best looking game on PlayStation Pro as it currently stands right now. And this was really good about the Xbox One X that's gonna really benefit both the companies and the consoles. Is oh my!
A trench raider kit is available near your location.
There we go. I tell you,
We have lost objective.
there you go. There you go. That's how you do it. Anyways, is what I was gonna say is that what's really good about this competition, and let's be honest, right? A lot of people was thinking, okay, we know the Xbox One has to be really expensive, have to be really pricey for it to be a 4K running powerful console with liquid cooling. Liquid cooling. I'm not gonna say it's called heater, but it's liquid cooling to cool down the system. Is how powerful it is and how warm it gets and everything. And what really matters at this point is the games.
We have taken objective.
The games. That's all that really matters, because you can have the most powerful console in whatever PC, whatever. Do you have? Oh my gosh, that thing is quick. I killed myself, bro. It's just like that sometimes. It really comes to the games. And I think what really hit it home as far as what's people talking about Xbox One X is that, you know, it's no doubt anybody would love to buy the Xbox One X. Why not? It's just that $500 price. And then think about the tax with that. Because I remember buying the PlayStation 4 Pro. I traded in my PlayStation 4. That was, I put in 150. So that means it was 400. So that means I had, what? Take away 150 from 400 to what is that, 250 right there, 50, so it'd have been like almost $300. No, it was actually $443 if I remember correctly, and tax was insane. I think tax was like almost $100 over with. That's insane. And so thinking about that, right, what they did say is that all Xbox One games and already that's on the Xbox One will look even better on Xbox One X and with enhanced visuals. So this is the thing, they said enhanced visuals. Is it really worth it, especially if you have already, let's say you do have a 4K monitor or a device, is it really worth it right now to buy an Xbox One X, and is it gonna look phenomenal with the already existing Xbox One games? Woo! Is it gonna look that amazing for you to spend almost probably even about $600 if you include the tax for the Xbox One X? Right? Because if you think about it, see, that's with tax is gonna be like $550, maybe even close to $600. And then if you have to, even if you want to get a game that's gonna be 4K, you're gonna want to have to go buy one of the new games that's coming out this year. That's launching, like Crackdown 3, which is another $60. So that's like $650. Now they did say that some games already are going to be in 4K, free updates. I cannot really remember. There's been a lot of well, not that much, but there's been just so many games that have been announced that I can't remember at all. Just remember the bigger AAA games currently right now. And I gotta say, that's the thing that's really like pushing me away from from a lot of people to really even want to get this device or this console, is the fact that, is it really worth it to get it right now? Is it? You guys let me know, because let's say you don't even have a 4K.
We are losing a
4K device. Are you gonna be able to get a 4K monitor? And 4K monitors are not cheap. $400, $500. Are you gonna be able to spend that money? If you really think about it, most people are gonna have to spend like over $1,000. Most people. And that's the only problem that I have, is that and I get why it's expensive. 4K capable ready console. The hardware it takes to make that, it's a lot. But that's the thing. A lot of people don't have 4K monitors or 4K ready TVs that are able to output the best benefits possible as far as getting this new console. That's the thing that defeats the whole purpose, is that I don't think a lot of people have a lot of 4K devices as far as Xbox players goes along, because if you got an Xbox One, why would you have an Xbox a 4K monitor? And that's the big issue that's really like, it's not a, it's a big issue for someone who really wants that 4K capability, thing, because it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, dude. Just for the console, and thinking about, let's say you don't have any games that does gonna be put out 4K. As far as we know, Ghost Recon Wildlands is gonna be 4K ready. One other title I cannot remember. There's a couple titles out there, and there's gonna be free updates for 4K. But let's say you don't have those games, right? What happens then? That's a lot of money. Now, I'm not trying to make this into kind of like an annoying thing, but I'm just announcing my concerns as a currently. There we go. As it currently stands for the Xbox One, and just for the people in general, this is not a cheap thing. And I honestly, if I was to get an Xbox One X, I would wait till the prices drop, or they come out with a bundle pack that has a reasonable price for you to be able to go ahead and buy not just the console, but a 4K rating, not just whatever type of game. If they had a Crackdown 3 bundle for the Xbox One X, and it's, you know, it is like same price, like 500, I'd definitely buy it with a controller, definitely, because that beats just getting, you know, just a console, and then you have to buy a game that, let's say you don't have a 4K game that's ready for the Xbox One X. And yeah, you can have games that can look enhanced visually. That's always great, but how good are those games going to look on the Xbox One X is the real big question. So that's I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later, but let's talk about the big juicy games that came out this year, or that's coming out this year, or that's been talked about, announced at the beautiful beautiful games that's been announced. And I just gotta give it a head. I'm not even gonna waste time and try to leave for last. Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Boys, it is freaking my #1 game I'm gonna be playing this freaking year. I'm gonna binge play the life force out of that game until the game breaks, till the game ceases to exist, and until there's a next game for, you know, if they plan on doing that. Battlefront 2 is probably the biggest game everybody's been waiting for out of the E3 conference, and it was one of the, I believe it was in the very first conference from the EA, and it was outstanding. Let's just name off, no bayonet charge, bro. There we go. So it is in a massive step up from the very first game, and let's just name some of the biggest important things. And I mean, overall, the game has a huge, massive improvement from flying to gameplay as far as gun balance and gunplay, as far as gun skill, everything, and a little bit of everything from the very first game has been massively improved. Not just tweaked a little bit, not just a couple of new mechanics. It is the Battlefront that we've been wanting since the very first, Battlefront 3, which came out about, I want to say 10-15 years ago. It's a masterpiece of a Star Wars game, and I think everybody's gonna really love this game, Battlefront, that we've been waiting for. What they're doing is, and they really emphasize that in the trailer and in everything. The whole how to get that shot off. You know how to do. Let's go. The biggest thing is cross era. All eras. Modern era from Star Wars Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. All that's going to be in the game. The Republic, Galactic Republic, and the Separatists is going to be in there, and the original. The original era is going to be as well in the game. And I gotta say, not only are you able to fight fight Separatists and fight as the clones again, which is insane, which they unveiled off the clones and Separatists fighting in a full-on 30 minutes, maybe actual reveal of multiplayer gameplay. We didn't get any single player from E3, but it is a massive step up. First off, let's just already, I'm gonna let you know, was the best thing that I noticed. And I mean, it was played on a PC, but I have a PlayStation 4 Pro. We'll see how that works. But the graphic fidelity has been massively improved. I didn't even know how they could even improve on the graphic fidelity. You guys all know, if you play Star Wars or seen a little bit of glimpse of the first Battlefront game, it was immensely just beautiful. And they use the same graphical engine as Frostbite and Engine 3, and as well as the whole photography advance that they used from the very first game. incorporate that in the second game. They're going to do that for every other game that they're planning on making. As far as the Battlefront series, graphic fidelity was insane. It's beautiful, and colors really pop out on the map that they really showcased, which was Naboo, a fan favorite from the original Battlefront 2 and 3 games. Just a name, just get that out of the way. Second thing, what I noticed right away was the gun balance and character play. So more or less, what's really cool about the cross-era play is that I saw that a Separatist had a weapon from the current modern era, which was a heavy class that had a LMG that was from the modern era, which is cool. So you can use different era weapons from any era on any type of like era from modern. You could use probably past eras to modern eras, all weapons. I think that's really cool that they did did the whole cross era kind of weapons, and as far as that's really awesome. I'm wondering if they're gonna as well do maybe even cross era wars, as far as maybe like the Separatists against the modern Force Awakens versus the Republic, or how they're gonna do that. That would be really interesting, really awesome. I'm really excited to see maybe they incorporate that. That'd be stellar. Wouldn't make I don't think it wouldn't make number one sense, but it would be pretty cool if they did that, right? Droids versus rebels, that'd be pretty cool. But that's just my personal opinion. It would be pretty cool if they did that. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't do it. It could break the kind of like Star Wars-esque feel. So I don't know. Let's meet some of these guys here.
We have taken
like I was saying, so
apples.
it's insane. That was insane, and character classes is returning from the original very first games that we all know and love. So they're bringing heavy class, they're bringing the assault class, they're bringing the specialist, and bringing
We have
the
taken objective Duff.
officer class. Sorry about that. And so officer is the supporter, has a mini blaster, doesn't deal like the most insane damage, but does alright consistent damage, and that it can buff, heal, give your teammates more health. Give your teammates more health. Oh my gosh, he just died by like a claymore, I think. Yeah. I see him. That shot at him too, I think. Someone's coming up on me. And as far as I'm saying, they can buff heal. They can heal the headshot, no scope. Let's get it, boys. Another headshot. I don't know how I miss those shots. Anyways, so he can buff heal, he can set down turrets. He's a really all-around supportive character class. Does deal some pretty okay damage, not the best damage, but good enough where you can go on one-on-one with somebody else. And then the assault class is more or less the run and gun type. More or less has like the higher fire rate kind of laser blasters. And has some pretty unique abilities as far as can pull out a shotgun for a limited time and go on a crazy frenzy and unleash havoc. And I believe sprint movement speed is increased Not sure behind how much. It is drastically increased, no worries about that. And the more kills, if you get kills, you increase the time that you have the shotgun out. And as well, you're able to actually have another ability that counteracts and makes sure that other players do not use their abilities, which is kind of in a very aggressive character class if you think about it for a second. You shut down other people's abilities; they're not able to use it, which is very important, or star cards at least. And it just comes down to gun damage and gunplay, and who sees who's better fit at aiming. And he's usually more or less short. Short to medium range, more or less short range. Just like with the officer, has a mini blaster, it's obviously going to be short range. And I believe, and he has a. What's wrong with this guy? He's freaking nuts. He does have a thermal detonator. And if you guys didn't know, there is 400 star cards in the game as well. All customizable. And you get 4. Gosh, he was ready. You get 4 in total. They were restricted to 3 in the E3 gameplay demo. But you're able to actually as well upgrade each individual star card as well, which is quite exciting, and it really does give that extra layer of customization. And what's really cool too is let me not cut off too much, but so as well, the other character class, heavy class, they get an LMG, really powerful as far as it currently stands in the E3 build, alpha build. They're pretty deadly. Their LMGs does a lot of damage, or the heavy laser guns does a lot of damage. They have this. Wow. They have this one ability where they're able to put up a shield, and it can break after a certain amount of damage, which seems like has a lot. It can withstand a lot of damage, and you're able to have as well grenade barrage as well, which was from the very first game, and you can pull out this Gatling minigun, and it does insane damage, shreds people, and it's an overall just really push or defend kind of push and defend kind of character class that we all kind of know from like the supportive class from Battlefield series. And it's quite exciting because it does incorporate a lot of team play, as far as we've seen from E3 and the gameplay demos, and from what a lot of YouTubers who's been playing the game for days before E3 is even, or from the multiplayer unveil. They've been playing it for just days and days and days. And they said that it does incorporate a lot of team play, which is a needed factor in the very first game. And like I said, as from what you guys are hearing so far, it's a very massive step up from the very first game overall. And the specialist as well does. I do not know their specific abilities. I have not got too much information on them, and I have not seen too much actual gameplay as far as abilities, but they are the sniper class. I think they can deliver information as far as intel on enemies' locations and stuff like that, but I don't know all of their abilities, unfortunately. But they're a really good class. They do really good damage. They have 3-round burst laser blasters. They have single shots. Really good class. I like it so far. And what I didn't like in the very first game is that anybody could just pick up a star card and become a sniper. And so everybody has an individual role, big role to play now in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it is insane how much team play really does incorporate in this game now. I'm quite excited. I'm pre-ordering the game. I'm gonna make sure to get in on beta as soon as it comes up. I believe if they're playing the car rides, I think they said the beta was gonna be in October. The game does release in November, which would make sense because usually that's what DICE does on their betas. And I'm gonna get on that beta and showcase some gameplays for you guys when that beta does come out. Battlefront 2, huge game. And they rebalanced the hero system. From what users have been saying, it's been completely revamped, redesigned. Feels a lot better than the very first game. As far as battling other heroes, as far as Darth Maul's been unveiled, Rey's been unveiled, Han Solo's coming back, and Boba Fett's coming back. That's what's been showed in the E3 build. And man, does Rey look awesome. She looked exactly how she does in the very first Force Awakens movie. Darth Maul looks just how he did in the very first Phantom Menace movie. Looks insanely identical to the movies and what they look like. And as far as abilities, Darth Maul is an insane beast. Which is really interesting about him is that a lot of people have been saying he's overpowered, and I could see it as not really, because Darth Maul, what he needs to do is that he needs to be up close and personal. I mean, and that's what any Jedi or Sith, but with him, that's where he specializes in as far as agility and getting up close and personal. Now, if we have clone troopers just mowing down on him, get a heavy, and make sure he gets that Gatling gun and mow him down, he cannot. And I'm pretty sure this is probably gonna be the only character in the game as far as heroes. He cannot block or deflect bullets or any type of damage. That's the balance that they did purposely, because he does deal a lot of damage. He's one of those heroes as far as Siths and Jedis is going to do a lot of damage, a lot of DPS, and it's only fair that he does not be able to deflect and block damage. Now Rey can do that. She can block and deflect bullets and damage. It's just that that's the balance with him, because if he would be an unstoppable character to fight against, just because he has way too much DPS, way too much damage, way too much agility, and can defend himself and block bullets. That would break the hero system, and DICE is working really hard to make sure that or EA, DICE, whatever, making sure that they want to get the balance right this time around. And that's what they've been working hard and hard as far as what the developers are saying, night and day, to make sure this game is the best Battlefront experience that they should have done with the very first game, but couldn't because of time, and they wanted to release it on the they wanted to release it besides the Star Wars Force Awakens movie, and that was the #1 big problem with that. That's why the game didn't get the love it needed, and that they're changing the game all the way around and trying to make it the best Battlefront 2 experience it should have had in the very first game. And I'm quite excited for it. Very, very excited for it. Got him. I knew that guy was coming. I heard him. I heard his footsteps. And so Rey as well has abilities as far as Mind Trick, and she's able to charge in with her lightsaber, which is kind of weak right now, but they're going to be balancing all of that based off the YouTubers' feedbacks, because theirs are really important, as well as the people who's watching the E3 gameplays, and they're going to give their feedback, and DICE is going to really try to fix it all the way till a game comes out. Even after that, any problems, they'll still be tweaking and balancing heroes, classes, all of that. And they definitely heard the feedback as far as the heavy class being very, very, very good. So with that, that's the biggest improvements I've seen so far. Hero balance. Generally, fighting another hero is a lot better. It doesn't feel clunky. It doesn't feel, you know, I mean, it's still clunky, but it's not what it was. Definitely not. And oh my gosh, you just got obliterated in the very first Battlefront game. And they're working, like I said, day and night to make the game a lot better than it was first time around. And the biggest thing that everybody's not, if they weren't blown away from graphics and all that, the very next thing that they were blown away by was the fact that all free DLC. Anybody who buys the game, $60 price check, is getting the game completely when they buy it. No bullshit, none of that. You're getting the complete entire game when you buy it completely. So, got him. We're just on a stabbing spree, man. I love the sniping. Sniping we're doing here. Oh my freaking goodness. Damn, I went in for the charge. What happened? Anyways, all free DLC, and John Boyega was supposed to be there at the event, but he couldn't make it, and he said that Captain Phasma and Finn is going to be free heroes post-launch after the game releases. So I'm guessing maybe like a week later, or maybe a time frame before the game makes a month, it's gonna release both those characters for free. So everybody will not be split it up from the community. The game's gonna be full. Everybody buys the game from initial start date, so the game ends and DLCs comes out. Everybody will be playing with the same people, as far as the same population, as far as who bought the game, and that's exciting. That the community or the population of the game is not going to be divided, and that's the biggest thing about the game. As far as free DLC, everybody's excited about that. Who wouldn't be free? And what they're doing as far as DLC, they're doing seasonal content or DLC. My goodness, they're just cooking us up here. Yeah, I'm quite excited for that. So as far as seasonal, what I think they mean by that is that they're gonna do probably like, wow, that was complete drag scope. They're probably gonna be releasing some DLC as far as, oh, come on, charges definitely been nerfed. They'll probably be releasing some like movie type of DLC and stuff, along movies as far as Star Wars and stuff like that. Pretty sure they're gonna do a couple DLC things from the Last Jedi movie. If not, I wouldn't know. I think my prediction is what they're gonna do for DLC in general. They might just do some like, they might do like cross-era DLCs where they'll drop some DLC. They'll drop some DLC for, you know, the Clone Wars era, the original, the modern. I think overall they're gonna just do DLC all around for each era, which I think would be quite really amazing and in a really brilliant way to take it as far as DLC goes along. For the game, in my opinion, I just think it makes the most sense if we did DLC for each an individual DLC, or at least whenever they're doing DLC, they'll drop three maps for each era, or one map for each era, so 3 maps in total. It would be pretty nice. Be pretty nice. I think that'd be a very fair way to do DLC for each, give each era some justice. And I'm really wondering what they're gonna do as far as they're gonna release everything, weapons, DLC, everything's gonna be for everybody, which is awesome.
Enemy controls all objectives.
But I think that's what they should do. I think that it'd be, in my opinion, a really great way for everybody to serve some justice for each and every arrow to get some new type of DLC or content weapon, something for each arrow would be really nice. And I think that would be a really nice opportunity for DICE. And what they're really doing is really focusing on the fans this time around and delivering what they promised the very first game, which they can deliver on. But I think if they play the cards right, it will be the best Battlefront game since the original games, or just the best Star Wars game that we've got to play in since the past 10 years. So I'm excited for that. I'm gonna be binge playing the crap out of that game. You guys can definitely be looking forward to that on the channel for sure. So that's Battlefront 2. Talked a lot about that. Another big game, God of War from PlayStation conference, and it looks pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie. That was the game I was looking forward to as far as the E3 conference for PlayStation, just because I was a huge fan after I played God of War 3. Went back and played the very first two games. Amazing story, deep dark story. Kratos is the #1 badass I think anybody can really say as far as when they think of PlayStation and who's your favorite hero and who's your favorite character. At least Kratos pops right into mind because he is the epitome of what everybody wants to be as far as being a badass. Really excited for that. So he has a son. And this is what tricks me up because I'm not too sure if it's gonna be before the God of War games trilogy or it's gonna be afterwards. That's what's tricking me up. I still really don't know, and I think maybe a lot of people don't know, but what it's gonna be about is Norse mythology. And I actually have to look that up because me myself, I don't even know what that really means or what that's even about. But I was quite skeptical because from the very first gameplay we got from, I believe, E3 of last year, I think it was, the gameplay as far as fighting mechanics did not strike me very well. I was like, this game does not look like it's going to keep the same fighting mechanics from the very first game. And I thought they would have, if they kept it, which I thought they were going to definitely we gotta meet these guys here. Sorry about that if you guys couldn't hear me too well over that discussing audio. I thought they would have just reinvent the system a little bit, don't change it up too much, but keep it nice, keep it refreshed, put in some new mechanics. And that was my biggest takeaway from the game. And I was quite scared because that's what everybody loved about it was the gameplay mechanics and how you fought, and that was the most amazing feeling. Yes.
We are losing objective Duff.
And that's what I loved about the game so entirely, so much. And I was scared to see that the game was going to fall into something different. The gameplay, as well as we saw E3 last year, was not what I was expecting. And I guess they were holding back because this year when they showed off the gameplay, it looks beautiful. I was really impressed. For the game, it looks like it's keeping it, but I think they refined and kind of tweaked the gameplay as far as fighting and everything, and it looks really nice. So he has his axe now where he's able to kind of like throw and swing it and pull out of nowhere, and it just pops in his hand here and there. And his son does have like an electrical bow as well, which is gonna mix in with some different unique type of gameplay and different mechanics. It seems like his
We are losing objective Edward.
seems like that's gonna really mix in with some really nice different type of gameplay that I don't think we've seen before, and I'm excited for that. Like some dual like combos and like duo type combos. That's gonna be pretty cool. Being that it's his son, it's not somebody else, and I think that it's gonna be something really impressive as far as
We have lost objective
gameplay. Because when I saw it, I said, okay, I don't know what they did last E3. I don't know if they were holding out or something, but it does look quite impressive as far as the what they're doing for the fighting mechanics. I'm happy. I saw his son kind of like pull out a bow and shot out like an electrical shot out of it, or electrical arrow. I was like, what? His son has powers, or maybe the bow has powers. I'm not too sure. I was like, this is insane, guys. Let's freaking go. And the story element of it seems like, and I think they kind of basically just told us what the story is going to really be about. It's basically about Kratos taking on this task of having a son. And Kratos can do a lot of neat things. He can rip Polyus head off. He can do some nasty, gruesome things in the previous titles or the original titles, original trilogy. But he does not know how to really teach his son how to be a warrior, because it's different for him, because I guess he's never been really that father figure, and teaching him to be his son to be a warrior is difficult because his son isn't. Oh man, it's difficult for Kratos, and I think that's his biggest kind of takeaway, and his biggest thing is becoming a father and really teaching his son how to be a warrior. And the biggest thing as well, likewise for the son, is how would he become a warrior, and he's just a boy. And I don't think, like Kratos was saying, he's really meant for, you know, to be out there in the wild. There's insane creatures that are going to be fighting on the way, and I just don't know how Kratos is going to be able to really pull this guy on his back. Not that I'm saying Kratos isn't, you know, strong enough to really defend his son, but how is he going to be able to keep his kid out of trouble is the biggest thing about that right now. And it's scary because they're not just fighting regular humans or regular people. They're fighting creatures that are 500 times their size from what we saw from the very last second of the 5-minute trailer we got to see. And there was a the Earth's wide world, I think, surfing, colossally huge. And I thought to myself, this is just the beginning, and my gosh, I just killed 4 people, guys. They were all looking at me. I don't know how they didn't kill me, but I just killed 4 people. Anyways, I just thought to myself, how is Kratos gonna pull this off? Kratos is in no man's land. This is the land of the savage and prey. How is he gonna be able to pull this off? Kratos is going to, this is going to be probably the toughest challenge, because it's not just Kratos holding his own weight, he's holding his own son's weight. How is he going to be able to teach, not only that, but teach his son how to be a warrior? And I think that's the biggest thing that that we're going to take from the game and the theme of the game for the new God of War game. And I am just exhilarated and pumped for the game. The game is coming out, I believe, early 2018. Really excited. It's going to be about 6 months from now, or actually 8-9 months from now. Just like how far it may seem, just like that, we are 6 months into 2017, and it felt like the year just started. So that game's going to come along real quick. And I just, after finished watching the trailer, I said, this is insane. The fighting mechanics look incredible, and the gore that the game was already known for, and the just brutality of it all is back from that small 5 minutes that we saw. It's all there. It's in all back in its great glory. And I'm excited to play the game. It's probably my biggest game that I'm going to be playing of next year, 2018. And I think it should be for a lot of PlayStation 4 owners. And it's gonna sell great because everybody knows who Kratos is, who the God of War trilogy, what it's done for PlayStation, and the biggest exclusive probably of the PlayStation franchise. And it's coming back, and we all know it's gonna do well. So it just might be, they might just do another game. They just might, if that's what they're planning on. Because we all know it's gonna sell great. No worries about that, and I'm quite literally excited for it. And I think Battlefront 2, God of War is my biggest games this year.
We are losing objective Edward.
Oh man, I should have been looking, bro.
We have
14 to
taken
4,
objective Bravo.
and it's insane. Crackdown 3 looks like a really fun game. I love the trailer with Terry Crews. He started it off really amazing way to get you guys pumped for the trailer and just for the game in its entirety. In its entirety, and I love the original Crackdown 2. What that good game stood for, and I was amazed to see that it was making a comeback. I couldn't believe the trailer dropped, I believe, earlier this year or last year. So excited for it. And the chaos, it's stepping the chaos so drastically much as far as destruction capability, and it's gonna be an insane game as far as destruction goes along. And they're using a new system as far as the cloud for the Xbox. Didn't even need a grenade. Overkill, right?
We have lost objective Charlie.
The charge is not like working for me anymore. Anyways, and it's gonna huge destruction capability, 4K gameplay. I'm not sure if it's 60 FPS. We'll have to see and find out. And those were the biggest titles for me as far as E3. That's the ones I'm looking forward to and we'll be bringing to you guys on this channel. Big takeaways. I'm gonna be making another video as far as review for it. I'm just really getting out all my thoughts and my impressions on E3 2017 this year. Battlefront 2, I'm gonna be binge playing. I think it's my most exciting game this year. And just to talk about one last thing before I end it here, Anthem is a twist for BioWare as far as the Destiny twist in their vision and take on the game, and we all know BioWare's pretty good at story. Destiny, these are the guys who made Halo. I'm not sure why they didn't deliver the first game. Hopefully they'll make it a really good experience as far as storytelling the second game. But what BioWare has really going for them is really great story. And just looking at that game, it looks like an insane, massive exploration world in which it's a huge thing they got going for BioWare as well. And they just might take Destiny 2's money. I believe the game comes out 2018. I believe that was a release window. And we all know that Halo is more or less as far as linear kind of as far as exploration, and from the transition to Destiny, hopefully they really make the world feel alive in the second Destiny game, where there's more life, there's more people, you have a reason to fight for, and just to experience the galaxy, experience the world of Destiny in its entirety. And that's where BioWare is really good at. So they just might take Destiny 2's money if the game comes out really good. We've seen really good gameplay. We've seen it seems like these I basically would call them rigs these suit of armors, and these people are going out in hover jets, and these have these flying jets where they're able to kind of like
We have lost objective Charlie.
fly very like Iron Man-esque, and like exactly Iron Man-esque, which really gives us really nice transversal agility and movement throughout the world, which is really cool. And we haven't actually seen that type of kind of jet mobility since I believe the game called um, Void. It was a game that came out on Xbox 360, I think PlayStation 3 as well, back in the day, and you can kind of like fly like Iron Man into this dark kind of like galaxy or universe or this planet. And I was quite impressed with the game. From what I saw, graphics looked like the best game I've seen on the PlayStation period. And that's a pretty bold thing to say. It's a pretty bold thing to say. But as far as in general games on the console, I think that was the best looking game I've ever seen in my life. Horizon Zero Dawn is amazing. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is immense, beautiful, gorgeous fidelity, but that game almost, it pulled you in and dragged you in and made you thought you were actually kind of like watching a movie almost, is how beautiful and insane it was. Almost like it can drag you into its world and you can actually feel like you're there. And that goes along with Battlefront 2, but it just has this really kind of like movie kind of realism kind of look to it, but gimmicky enough to tell that's the game. And it's an insane game. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with that game. It looks like from what we saw from E3, it's gonna be a real big open world game that's gonna have a lot of life, a lot of insane creatures that we got to see as well that they fought against. And man, oh man, oh man, that game is going to be stellar. I believe the window for 2018, and I'm gonna be showcasing that game as well on the channel, so don't you boys worry at all. I'm gonna wrap the video up short here, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, we on fire. Anyways, so that's my biggest games that I was hyped up for 2017. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I will be making a kind of like a part 2, or more or less like a review for 2017, maybe tomorrow or the next day after we get to see if there's any more announces. Got him! Wow, they both were there and they couldn't even defend his boy. Anyways, those are my biggest games for 2017 that's been released so far. I'm going to be showcasing all those games on the channel. Don't even worry about it when they come out this year or early of next year. God of War, Anthem, Star Wars Battlefront 2, big games coming out this year and next year, and probably if you guys wanted some Destiny 2 on the channel as well, I'll probably be picking up the game myself and probably play it myself with some friends. Now if you guys don't want to see it on the channel, that's fine. I'll just play it and just play the game for what it is, play it for fun. And hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Keep it locked to the channel if you want to see more content. I want to see some more E3 impressions and things of that nature on this channel. Let me know. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. It's your boy Wiz, and I hope you guys have a great day.